And we are live, according to that thing. Let's see if it comes up on this thing.
Yeah, I'm waiting. I'm looking.
It looks like we're the only ones here anyway. There's only two of us here. That's not really that surprising. People are all probably making their turkeys and stuffing and stuff
They're
this
stuffing the
morning.
bird and putting the pie in the oven if they're in the U.S. for sure.
Yeah, I did most of that yesterday. I did put my turkey in this morning with the stuffing I made yesterday.
U.S. for sure.
And I have to make mashed potatoes.
Sorry, had to turn my volume off. I got a new phone.
Yeah, I already did that, so I think everything's. I think it's okay. It's live on my iPad now, so.
Yeah, it just came up. That's why you heard the noise. Sorry.
But we were thinking we'd go ahead and do our live stream on Thanksgiving because we do have friends from other countries who wouldn't be celebrating today, and also there might be some people in our current situation that can't travel to see their family and might be wanting some entertainment or diversion today. So we just decided to go ahead and keep with our regular schedule of Thursday, even though it is a holiday for us today. And I see we
now here, and Rennie is here. Hello, ladies.
Rennie's here. Yep. Hi. So, mood board today. Over in the Art Joy of Sharing art community on Facebook, we post a mood board, which is some pictures that one of us has collated for the month. And it's just to inspire you, maybe shapes, maybe colors, maybe concept. You could be inspired by one thing. You could use all of it. It's up to you. So that's what we're doing today. I'm going to do an art journal page. I'm not sure what Peg is doing. Actually, I didn't ask her.
You know, I hadn't. Okay, I was sitting here talking, and I hadn't really made up my mind yet because I've still got a couple of these boards that we started last week sitting out on my desk.
Oh, well, there you go.
I was naughty. I took a flight to Florida because it'd been a year since I'd seen my kids, and it was great. There was nobody else sitting in the aisle with me. Everybody had masks. It was a very cautious flight. Of course, it was at dawn 30. So nobody else wants to fly at that time of day.
Well, that's a good way to avoid people.
Yeah.
I wondered how it would be. I'm not going to travel anywhere. I wish that I could see my kid, but everything's so blown up right now. I'm going to stay home. So
I don't plan on going anywhere the rest of the year. I'm hoping that, by the first of the year, we'll be able to get some medication and have this under control. So that was my trip. I mean, I've tested numerous times, so I know I'm not carrying anything to anybody else. So I knew I was safe. I knew, I was cleansing and wearing a mask and doing everything I was supposed to do. So, and I knew my kids were safe. So it was mostly about the flight and getting there and getting back home. And so far, so good. So I'm just very thankful that I was able to spend a short weekend with my family in Florida because I was missing them terribly. And
I'm very I'm so envious. I wish that I could go travel to California.
Well, and you all know how I feel about 2020.
Yeah. I think we all agree that 2020 could just go away and bother someone else.
So let's talk a little bit about this mood board. This mood board has so much stuff on it, so many different directions that it's taking me. And this is, if you don't know where to start, a mood board is a good place to begin. I'm looking at the stack of books here, and what I'm getting out of this are all of those linear things and the colors and that. And I'm looking at this board that I started last week, which has some linear things, but I could also include more layers of linear things. So I mean, this would be a good place to go with that particular photograph and work on that. This photo over here with the city and the lights kind of, you know, reminds me of sparkly things. I was thinking this morning that they're actually having the Macy's parade, and you know, people are
Are they
gearing up
actually
for the
having
holidays.
it?
Yeah, I saw it on YouTube this morning, Macy's parade. I'm
Oh,
not
I
sure
didn't
how
know.
they're carrying it off, you know, but there must be something going on over there in New York. So,
Yeah, because you would think that they would be like, nope, we can't do that this year.
yeah,
That's
you're welcome, Nell. We're glad to be here with you. You know, we're just sitting at home with our families, and you know, that for me, that's a family of two, me and my husband. So, do I have anything else to really be doing? No, not really.
no.
So I look at that and I think, oh, you know, that's the sparkly stuff. And so I started thinking, you know, I really need to make some Christmas cards. And so I was dragging out different papers in the color family, you know, because that's the other thing is the mood board has these colors in here.
Yeah,
And yesterday I had started playing down here a little bit. And so I pulled like this piece of tissue that has these shades in it, okay? And I had a piece of tissue that I'd stamped on, and so I took some alcohol ink and put that on there, but I also added some of the pearlized stuff, so it's got a little bit of blingy. So, you know, I've got a lot of these tissues and things that can be layered onto other surfaces. Then I decided, you know, with the bling, I should use some embossing powder because I've got embossing powders with bling in them, you know. So if I look at the colors, you know, here's the colors, here's the textural stuff that's around this grate because I use this Taos embossing powder, and I get this sort of thing, you know. So it takes you in different directions. You know, here's kind of a circular pattern that this guy is drawing on the sidewalk. So, I mean, there's lots of things that can be done with that. I look at my papers here and I've got circular patterns that are on tissue paper that can be used. I've got these brown sewing pattern tissues. You know, so there's lots of bling on this because it's got the gold in the background and a little bit of blue and the gray of the concrete here. Like if you look at this picture and you see this gray green kind of color in there, you can go that direction. So you can let these mood boards lead you and help you, you know, get started, because a lot of people tell me that's one of the things they have the most trouble with is where do I begin? And I'm saying, well, have you looked at our prompts? Have you looked at our mood board? Have you looked at, you know, I mean, this is just cleanup paper from when I was doing alcohol ink stuff, and so I've got a lot of blue alcohol ink on here. So these are all good starting points. This one has a little bit of that circular thing going on to it. So, and yeah, that's what I do is I start going through a pile of stuff and looking at it and saying, well, how does this relate to the mood board? You know, here's some more where I did some embossing. So that's a good place to begin.
For me, I generally, unless I'm like super excited about some specific thing, I tend to focus on color. I'm very oriented to color, and so I thought I would start by making a background with these turquoise and gray and blue, and then in the combination with the fall leaf colors and ground colors, I would start there. And I'm using pan pastels This is a soft pastel that's in a dry binder, and I have them sorted into these little things by color, and I don't have all of them. But I thought it would be a nice place to start in the background because I have a lot of interesting colors, and I'm using a soft sponge, which is SOFTT. It is the sponge that they recommend for their product. It's an artist quality, highly pigmented product. It does have a little bit of dust associated with it, but not a lot in comparison to other soft pastel type products. So you can just put some on there in layers, and then when you're ready to change colors, you can just wipe the soft sponge off on a piece of paper towel until it becomes clean, and then you can change colors. And there's, you know, of course, 4 surfaces on the sponge. These sponges last for a long time. They're very dense. Another fun thing you can do is you can erase it. So I thought maybe I would add some pattern in my background using some of the stencils I have on my desk randomly for no apparent reason. And somewhere I have a kneaded eraser. Where is my kneaded eraser? Well, I guess I'll just use a white eraser. But then you can go over your stencil and erase in the background here. And it's just another way of making interesting pattern. So I thought I would do that with my background and some stencils. This is a Trish McKinney stencil. But see how you can start to build up some patterning by erasing some of the pan pesto. Usually you would use a kneaded eraser, and I know that I have one somewhere. But you can also use a white eraser or a gum eraser. Here's a gum eraser. We'll see how that one does.
Hi, Nancy. We're glad you're joining us.
Welcome, welcome. Happy Thanksgiving if you're in the United States. Whoops.
Yeah, I'm afraid our friends up north already had theirs.
Yep. Canadian Thanksgiving has already passed.
I don't know. Do Mexicans have, South America have any kind of Thanksgiving? I don't know.
I'm not sure either. Not that I'm aware of, and I live in a city that's predominantly Latino people. So,
well, we got plenty of other celebrations, so.
Yeah, well, I mean, I know that there's families here in Tucson that are Latino but are celebrating American Thanksgiving.
Yeah.
And we borrow their Cinco de Mayo.
Yeah, we certainly do. Gotta have those May 5th margaritas, right?
Yeah, we gotta have our margaritas and our cervezas.
Yeah.
So, you know, if there's a reason, we'll certainly take it.
Hey, Natalie. Happy Thanksgiving. We're glad you're here. Yeah. Yeah, we're usually early in the morning on Thursday, so we thought we'd do it because, you know, we're not going anywhere. We're not going anywhere.
Actually, Mary Beth Shaw from Stencil Girl Products is having a journaling live stream this evening. If you guys want to go watch that, it would be linked to their Stencil Girl Products page.
And it might be worth your while because I think there's a big sale coming up.
There is a big sale coming up. I think it starts on the 29th.
Yeah. So if you're interested in any stencils or have your list, have the list for Santa, you know, this is the time to go do your early shopping because there's a number of them that are going to be doing the Black Friday, Cyber Monday thing.
Yeah. I think I like the white eraser best. I think it takes back the stuff quicker.
So these are just some gel print papers. In the tones, you know, in the colors that we're working with here. So I'm going to get a number of different pieces going.
So that just kind of reminds me of how light comes through, you know, through like leaves and stuff in a tree. It really reminds me of that when you push back. And then if I want to, I can take the same stencils and I can come back in with the soft pencil again. Maybe I want to lighten up something in the middle. I can come back in with this light turquoise and use the same stencil and just pat over the top of it, and I can get yet another layer and just keep building these layers, which I think is super fun. You can certainly use these pastels to stencil with if you want to build a pattern. You can do the same thing with the downside if I want to make some kind of darker things down here. It's like it's grass. You certainly do that too. So you see how this could be really fun, and I'm building up some interesting shapes and patterns and layers. And then before I do anything, you know, I'm a mixed media artist, you know, there's going to be other layers. Before I do that, I'm going to seal this with what am I going to seal it with? Clear gesso. I'm going to use clear gesso, I think, to seal it. But I could even bring in white and really lighten this up. I think it's kind of interesting when you use the stencil with the pastel, you get kind of almost a traced line because the pastel comes up against the stencil and then it gives this like kind of a, I don't know if you guys can see it, it's really apparent down here. See this one right here? It's like a traced line, and that reminds me of what this guy is doing on the sidewalk. He's making shapes and then he's tracing them. So it kind of gives that same look, which I think is pretty cool. I think this is fun and I'm going to keep doing it. So,
all right.
Maybe we'll do
it's all about having fun, isn't it? I don't know about you, but I can get lost in the studio. You know, that when things are bad, you know, you look at all that junk in the world and things are bad. It's a good place to be. I can just hang out here and
yes,
my own little world.
I agree. It's a good place to be. Welcome, Natalie. I see we have Natalie and Nancy and Peggy. I'm glad you guys have joined us. We weren't sure if anybody would come or not. We thought maybe people would be busy, but I'm glad you're not. I'm glad.
Well, we knew we'd be here. I'm just going to give this the tiniest little reveal of black here. You know, as I'm cutting pieces down to collage, I'm also taking some of the scraps and thinking about those Christmas cards that I need to be making, because I have so many people. You know, I'm so thankful for all of you who join us on the live, but I'm also thinking about other people that, you know, are unable to do that, and I want to get a card off to them. And so I'm just working this, and I don't know what it is with me today. I can't get anything straight. try it again. Try it with this other glue. Maybe I can reposition better.
I think I'm just going to go ahead and recap these and move on to something else. That was super fun. Something I could do, though, that I hadn't thought of yet until just now is if I wanted to emphasize some more of that kind of grassy stuff, I could get some of my actual pastels. Before I seal this, get some regular pastels out. I keep them in their box because they're they don't really have the colors I want, though, huh? Well, this one maybe. And just do some actual, you know, stuff.
Yeah, do you guys work with pan pastels? I have some pan pastels, and they come in these sets that you can buy. They also have them in family sets. So like if there are particular colors that you tend to gravitate towards, you know, like your blues, it'll have like 4 different shades, tones of particular color.
Yeah. And they also come as individuals. Mine that I have, all the ones that I have, in fact, came as sets. They have one called Portrait, which has certain colors in it, and then they have one called Landscape, which has certain colors in it. And I think that those are the 2 sets I have. So I think I have 40 pans, and then I just divided them by color into those little things that I purchased. Those little trays that you see, I purchased to store them in. So this is fun.
I like using the pastels in my journals. Even I've done journal pages with pastels, and they're fun. But I bought mine several different ways. So, you know, I don't even know. I think I've got maybe 60 pans. And I started out getting just a few to try them and decided I liked them.
Yeah.
And then I thought, well, I needed the whole set of particular families if I was going to work with them. So I ended up buying, you know, the companion pans that went with some of the ones that I purchased. And then I decided, well, but then you need a blender, and then you need some coppers and some
Yeah, I would like to have some of the metallics. I don't have any metallics, and I know that there is a beautiful copper.
Yeah.
You know how I love copper.
Yeah, well, I got sucked down the iridescent hole for sure, because I've taken there a lot.
Okay, I think I better seal this before I go on. Trying to get things off my desk. You know, my desk is out of control.
No.
Hello, Dea.
I know I just cut paper. You want to talk about an out of control desk?
Where did it go? Okay,
I just cut that paper. I had these out because we were discussing water brush pens, you know, because last week we were filling water brush pens with different things. And I had purchased these on Amazon. I do not recommend these because you can't get the top off of them. They come in a lovely big set, but I'm going to have to take vice grips to most of these to get the tops off of them. And what's the point if you need to fill a brush and you can't get the top off of it? So.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's like not even, that just doesn't even make sense.
So I had taken some of my other brushes that I already owned, and because I have, you know, I've got Prima, I've got the who is this? Pentel. I've got, you know, a lot of different brush pens, but I wanted more colors than what I had of the watercolor brushes. And so these are the I've got some Doc Martens at Dick Blick recently. So I took those Doc Martens and filled some more pens with those Doc Marten colors because I like them. Anyway, back to where I was. So,
if you're here for that big discussion last week, I was saying that I wanted a gray and a sepia, like a Payne's gray and a sepia in pins, right? Because I'm obsessed with this little pin that has a little flexible brush. And so I went down that rabbit hole and I found these two pins, which are also Pentel, who makes this. And there's one for gray and one for sepia. So this isn't the gray I wanted. I wanted a dark gray, but the only difference is that their brushes are a little bit larger on them, but they do exist. Also, this one is India ink, so it's permanent when it's dry. I believe these are water-based, but at least there's something out there that I could try and I didn't have to make it, which is what my plan was to make it. So.
Well, you know, I still have plans to make some other things because, you know, they don't always manufacture everything that we want. Can you believe that?
You would think they would.
We end up having to make things.
Yep.
I mean, one of the things that I did, all right, where's my bone folder? Okay. One of the things that I did yesterday was I'm rearranging things in my studio. You know, it's the end of the year. You start thinking about the things that you need to do in your studio. And I had a whole lot. I used to teach card making classes, and I had a whole lot of big tubs like this that were just full of embossing powder, because when you go to a class, then they can just, you know, emboss whatever right over the tub. Well, I got out some smaller containers, and because I decided I only need the small container, and I transferred a lot of those into the smaller container, but then I wanted to use up what I had. Well, this one said it was Ultra Amazing Glaze White Speck, and when I put it on something, it really wasn't doing anything for me. And I thought, well, okay, I'm not real pleased with that anyway. So I got out some inks, and I colorized the embossing powder because I knew we were going to be doing things with these blues and browns today. And I thought, well, I might need some blue and brown embossing powder. So, you know, I made it my own because I didn't happen to have that color in my stash. And you can do that.
You can absolutely do that. Nancy says, and this is interesting, she says to try to unscrew the pins the opposite direction because she got some that unscrew backwards.
Well, I looked at the thread because you can see which way they're supposed to thread on. If you look through here, you can see that it screws on going that direction just because the way the thread is in here. So it should screw off this direction. That's okay. This one I got off. All right. So some of them, but I'm going to take them upstairs, put them in a vise, and put some pliers to them to get the rest of them open. But I've got one more open. Yay.
It's like, that just doesn't make sense. The whole point of it is so that they screw off. So you can refill them with water. Why would you make something that wouldn't screw off?
I don't know. I was not real happy with that purchase, but you know, it was cheap. I was doing cheapo on Amazon, so
like you do.
Like, oh, that one isn't even open. All right, I don't need to open a new one yet. I know I have glue that's open.
Okay, so I drew this little drawing this morning when we were messing around. And I think I'm going to put something like this on my page because there's this mushroom. I just looked at that mushroom and I said, I want to make mushrooms.
All right.
So I can make mushrooms. There's so many different varieties. And I don't know if I want to do it in collage or if I want to draw them on there and paint them with something. What do I want to do? I don't know.
I don't know. I'm sure you'll come up with something.
Maybe a combination of both. I'm not sure. I did grab a little pile of scraps. Speaking of scraps, the only thing I've done in this entire week, I did not make any videos or anything, but I was working on these scrap. They're going to end up looking like this with the shiny cover. That one's finished. This one's finished except for the shiny part. This one's finished except for the shiny part. Rennie, do you recognize that writing? That's from an envelope that Rennie made. And then I've got some that are started. They're not finished. And then I have some that are even less finished, but are going to be super cool. And these are all just scraps from my desk, literally scraps from my desk. And what they're on is this huge stack that I have. Back in the day when my kids were younger, I was on the board of our local AYSO region, which is a soccer organization. It's volunteer. And one year, Hyundai decided to sponsor our league. And they sent us these things to hand out to parents so that they could write on them, right? They're magnets. They're just little magnets. And you could write your coach's name and assistant coach's name and everything, the contact information for your team, and put it on your refrigerator. And we didn't have enough parents to give them all to. And look at all these. I have 100 at least or more of these things. So I went down this crazy path of I just sat and glued paper on these, and it's been so much fun, but I didn't finish them. I didn't finish anything. I didn't do anything. But that's just from papers, literally papers on my desk. I have thousands of piles of paper.
Well, and see, we were talking after the show last week, and I said, you know, I've got a bunch of those coaster type things. And I looked over in a box, and sure enough, I came up with some, and I said, you know, I need to do what you're doing because they make great little ornaments or gifts, you know, because you could take these, you know, paint them up, do whatever, punch a hole in them. You can do both sides, and then it becomes a cute little ornament that you can stick in somebody's envelope. So
yeah, these are the ones I made out of the coasters. The only thing is I don't like this magnet tape because it wants to curl. So anyway, I made those, and then these are a little bit smaller, but they're already magnets themselves. So I haven't tried them on the refrigerator yet. I know they'll be pretty weak magnets because that's just the nature of them. But that's a pretty cool piece of paper right there. Let's start with that. I guess I'm going collage because, I mean, I'm sure that nobody was particularly surprised by that, right?
Well, probably not greatly surprised, but you know, I enjoy collage. I enjoy watching collage. I enjoy making collage. But when you make all these papers, you got to do something with them, right?
Well, there's just so many papers. I mean, it's ridiculous how many I have. And I can't throw them away. I just can't. I mean, I even have dumb stuff like this that's like something that I used for cleanup or whatever you want to call it. I need to grab a glue stick. I was painting something with copper, obviously. I won't throw that away, and then I'll use it. It's crazy like that around here. Oh, boy.
Well, I started sifting through a bunch of stuff. You know, we were talking about color and what inspires us, and
Color.
you know, Shel had sent me some beautiful inks in fall colors because I was complaining that I didn't have enough fall colors. And of course, She included some browns, my favorites. So
Well,
she
those are
sent me
fall colors. So.
some burnt sienna and some burnt umber, and this olive green deep is gorgeous. I think I should put some of that on. I should put some of these colors on this piece. And then I really love, this is one of my favorite yellows, is this Naples yellow deep.
Love that color.
My papers are kind of put away by the type of paper that it is. You know, I have stacks.
Someone asked about putting away papers. I don't put away papers. Are you crazy?
Well, and honestly, Natalie, if you go to my channel, which is Peg Robinson, I do have videos out there on organization. You can just find a whole playlist on organization. So yeah, it's out there. Trust me. It's out there.
Stick down, you little bugger.
But I do, you know, I have to keep things somewhat organized or I can't find anything. Because, you know, as a mixed media artist, I jump from one thing to the next. So I might be gel printing one day, I might be painting another day, I might be doing epoxy another day, I might be doing clay. You know, it varies all over the place. And so I have to have areas that are dedicated to those types of things so that I know where to go and find them. And I have things grouped together by that. You know, like I have all my alcohol ink in one spot or my epoxy things all in one spot. So what was I doing? I was putting this. I think I was going to grab an embellishment.
So the clear gesso that I put over this is a little bit of a pain in the behindy. Because it's the brand called Liquitex, and it's got sand in it or something. It's crumbly or scratchy. It's a little bit annoying. So I'm having a little bit more trouble gluing over the top, and I probably should get out like matte medium or something, but I'm just going to stick with my glue stick for now and try to. It would be better if I used, you know, this stuff, but this is an art journal page. It's in a book. It's not going to be the end of the world as we know it.
Do you guys remember when we made these? These are those handmade washi paper things that we did.
Oh, yes.
So I'm going to grab a few of those. I'm going to grab, these are cards made from packaging. They're just, you know, cut packaging. But, you know, as I work through things, I try to save stuff like that to utilize. I don't want to throw everything in the trash, so. But I was looking at some papers and things. This is the way I go, guys. I've got so much stuff I can just pull out and have about 6 projects going at once. But I looked at this card that I started, and I was thinking, well, it needs something blingy to bring out the gold in that, you know. So I thought, well, you know, you've got this ready-made washi tape that we had done. This was just put through some double sticks. Tape is on the back and then cut down into pieces. And so this can be added very easily. I can get it started. To my card for another layer. This end isn't very neat and tidy, so I'll clip that off. And so then this can become a stripe on the front of this greeting card.
That was the perfect kind of paper for this. Perfect. I am going to clean up this studio soon and put away some stuff because I'm hoping that perhaps my kid will travel here because his girlfriend slash whatever partner, I don't know, she's from Phoenix and he's from Tucson, and I just think it's a possibility that they might just show up. It's kind of how he rolls. And if that happens, there won't be any place to sleep unless I clean up this space. So I'm going to do it just in preparation for the holidays, just in case. I'm gonna, you know, clean it and put everything away. And while I'm doing that, organize some stuff.
Well, it's a good way to start out the new year anyway, you know?
Yeah, it's a smart idea to just do that. Oh, we were also talking about silicone tools. And I got this one off of Amazon. It is a makeup applicator. It's very bendy though. It's way more bendy than my other one. And I mean, I think it is because it comes to kind of a thin.
Mm-hmm. I ordered one, but you know, I did it after I got back home, so I don't think mine's coming until December.
And this one is smaller anyway. So I would probably just cut these wings off of it maybe. But anyway, it was really cheap. It was a pack of 2 of them for like $3. And I ordered that same girl that I was talking about that is my son's, whatever you call it, because you don't call it anything these days. Young people, they just hang out, right? They don't say, oh, we're getting married, or this is my wife, or this is my girlfriend, or this is my whatever. No, they just hang out. That's it. So I never know what to call her.
Yeah.
My son's something. I got her some.
Nell's asking about how you don't lose things. Well, okay, if I have a project going and I have things pulled for a project, I usually have tubs where I keep things clipped together that go together. And because these tubs will stack, I just stack one on top of another and, you know, work that way.
Yeah, I do that too. I have little baskets of things. Like everything I use is in a basket, right? It's, you know, here's my Bill Woody's basket. Here's whatever. But the problem is that they get stacked up next to me on the floor because I don't put them away. That's the problem. So I end up with all these things on the floor next to me.
The project's in process.
Projects
and I have
in process.
Work tape that's.
And it also all depends on your space. How much space do you have? How much, you know, is there things that you can put in different places that, I mean, most people don't even have the amount of space that I have because I'm using a whole room in my house. It's an entire room. So I should theoretically be able to have things put away and have things organized.
The thing about having more space is you collect more stuff.
I think that's true.
So having all the space is not always the best. My daughter worked out of one of those scrapbook totes that unfolded when you wanted to work.
Mm-hmm.
She did very well with that. But when she had projects, she had like file folders, and she would put her project in a file folder and label it, so that she could go back to a specific project she was working on.
Well, that's
And
smart.
Michelle's right. It depends on your space and how you work. I think I need a Merry Christmas or something down here, but the card's coming along, right? Maybe a little bling in the middle.
Bling, yes, always with the bling. Can't say no to that.
Some more. Over here. So I like where that's headed. Get that Christmas tree out of my way.
You should use that new Christmas tree stencil that you got from.
Oh yeah. I got a stencil. All right, now I don't even know where to put it. I was showing Shel this morning. iStencil has new designers, and one of which is Robin McClendon, and I like Robin's style and work. And she was running a sale where it was 20% off site-wise, and she and Patty Parrish and a few others do that. So if you follow them, you can usually find a sale. I never buy there unless the stuff is on sale. I just wait. And so I'd ordered some stuff because it was on sale, and I got, because I ordered one of Robin's stencils, they give you one of Robin's stencils free. And then if you ordered like $50 worth of stuff, you got free shipping, and you got another free stencil. So I'd gotten like this one I loved because it had the florals, and I'm very much into the botanical stuff. But then they sent me this as a thank you for my order. So I just thought that was a cute little stencil that they had sent in. And actually, this would be kind of cute on top of one of these if I did it in some. See, now I'm off like squirrel.
Squirrel. I may have been somewhat responsible for that. Sorry.
Help! She's doing it to me again. So I
just thought it would be cool.
I have a part or something.
I don't know if these are light enough.
Well, I'll just emboss it, and that'll make it stand out. That always helps. And we were talking about embossing anyway, right?
I did hear you mention embossing, yes.
So I probably need a gold.
I would think so, yes. Gold is a good color.
So these are what I put. These are like from the dollar store. And I like them because they have the little clippy sides to them.
Oh yeah, they snap down.
Yeah.
And they're only $1.
And well, you get 3 for $1.
Mm-hmm.
So 33 cents, which is even better, right?
That is awesome.
Yeah. So I had these big tubs, and so I just moved everything into these smaller ones so I could put them all into one drawer, which I thought was very clever of me. Need a bigger craft room. Yeah. I think we all have that.
I need like you see those artists work, you know, you don't know if it's real or not, but in shows they have like an entire floor of a loft of some industrial building or something. Like,
My
yeah,
dream, right? My dream.
that's my dream right there. It's like, oh, wouldn't that be awesome?
Yeah. See if I can do this without messing it up. The good news is, if you do this and you mess it up, you can always just do it on another piece of paper and glue it over the top. Ask me how I know that.
I need a tall one. I need like a tall thing. Tall and thin.
A piece of paper. Get my embossing powder. I probably should have used a buddy so I didn't end up with Klingons.
Oh yes, an embossing buddy.
But I was in a hurry. So it will be what it will be. And I didn't even hit the target with that. Good grief. All right, get the lid back on it before I make a mess. And wipe off my stamp. Because once you got the embossing powder on there, it's not going anywhere. And let me heat that. Okay, that turned out all right.
Natalie
very good on the camera, but it's there.
Natalie says she met a lady who bought her neighbor's entire house as a sewing room.
Well, I mean, if you know people like oh, what is her name? Oh, I'm losing it. Yeah, there are people who do that, who put up cabins and do all kinds of things. I would love to do that. We don't have the property to do that. I'm in a basement, which is not particularly the best because it's cold and the lighting is poor. And so I have a portion of my basement because the washing machine and everything's over there. So sometimes, you know, you might hear some other things going on in the background, but I'm okay. You know, I got a space.
Yeah, before this, before my kid moved out, basically, I had a closet. So I'm much happier.
Yeah.
Now. It was a large closet, but it was still a closet. I was hiding in the closet.
So I think this is pretty cute. So I should probably try to put that on there. Get some tape and tape it down because I'm going to use some modeling paste or something on here. Just going to mask off the area I don't want the paste to go into. And, you know, if you're worried about it coming up, you can always use some of that, what's that spray? Pixie spray
Yeah, pixie
on your
spray.
stencils to keep it from popping up. Okay. What have I got? Okay, I've got a jar of light molding paste right here. Within arm's reach. And I need a palette knife to apply it.
Come on, don't come apart right there. Why are you doing that? That's not nice.
So, you know, my stuff has been evolving. I started out in a closet too, because when the kids were little, we were in a different house and we didn't have space for anything. And you know, it evolved. It evolved to this. I definitely am grateful for the space that I have, but it's still not what I would desire.
Right.
I'd like one of those rooms with all the light pouring in. A whole wall of
Windows that
Yeah.
overlooks nature. Yes. me
Yeah,
too.
out onto the wooded lake.
Yeah. That would be ideal. I visited, went and saw, before I had kids, I was traveling around at Christmas time with my husband going down to Mississippi to visit relatives of his who lived there. And one of the relatives that we visited was an artist, a watercolor artist. And she had a room on the side of their house that overlooked just like woods, just like dense woods. And it was just on the side of their house, and the whole thing was all windows, like all the way around. And I'm like, this is what I want.
Yeah.
And I didn't have anything at that point. I didn't even have a room at that point. So I was like, wow. Can I please live here?
Yeah. Can I just bring my cot? I'll just move right in. You won't notice me at all.
Yeah.
So I'm thinking that with that light paste, I'm just going to quickly clean off my stencil. It gives me an opportunity to add some bling, since we're all about bling. Toss that in the water.
Laura said that when she sometimes threatens to take over the master bedroom. And that was just reminding me when I did move into this room, it was offered that I could have the master bedroom and that we could just put our bed, because all we do is sleep.
Yeah.
In here. And I didn't take it. But now I basically live in my bedroom, because there's other situations in my house. So there's a TV and a couch and everything in my master bedroom. So we couldn't have done that, but at the time we could have just moved our bed and dresser in here, and just I could have just taken over that entire large space. I should have said yes, but I felt like that was selfish. I felt like that was like, you know, I mean, it's not just my master bedroom, you know. So,
well, you know, if there were other areas of the house, but now with all the people living with you, it's kind of hard. You really need the space in your bedroom. So you made the best choice.
Yeah, it would not work now because we've got Yeah. Just no. Okay, I think I'm done collaging. This is all very cute, I think. But it definitely needs some drama. What time is it anyways?
I got
No.
29.
I think we've got like a half an hour left.
Yeah.
Just move some of this stuff out of the way and bring in some drama. Drama.
Ancient gold embossing powder. Enchanted gold.
Enchanted gold.
Not even sure where I got this one from. It's an oldie. An oldie but a goodie. Embossing powder lives forever. Did you guys know that?
Oh yeah, I have embossing powder that I've had for 20 years. It's fine. It's just, plastic. It's just ground up plastic.
Yeah.
Yeah, this stuff is definitely very water soluble. This other brush that I was showing you, this is the sepia. I think it's just basically watercolor probably in the brush. But it makes a good ground for my mushrooms.
So I'm going to let that dry down, because it's got the, I used light molding paste. It's got the light molding paste under there. But that'll be cute. And I can add, I've got little critters. Oh, that's what I should pull out to go on that. I have another idea. I have another idea. Where did I put them? This is the other Dollar Tree thing that's really good. I have a shelf with all kinds of embellishments and things like this, and these are just little Dollar Tree containers. And they're clear plastic, so you can see what's in there. But I'm looking at some of these little woodland creatures here. And I'm thinking these little Bambi Brad type things would be cute. Because I'm thinking this might be something that would be a good holiday thing to give to my daughter or granddaughter, because they've got little ones. They would enjoy something that's got little blue Bambis on it, right?
I think so.
So, and if you notice in the background, hidden is that 2020. Because we know when this was made was in 2020, and we're still trying to forget it. So glad for it to go away in another month. But these little brads I picked up, several years ago, going to one of those craft shows.
I have so many little brads. I never use them.
Well, that's what I'm saying is I'm trying to drag out stuff from my stash and use what I have. And so I'm thinking, okay, this would be cute to have, a little Bambi down there, and maybe something else up here. It's just use what you have. Hi, Barbara Clark. The hidden in the background, yeah. Keep it pushed back, way back. Oh, man.
I don't think anyone who saw that would be offended. We all agree.
Yeah.
That is how we feel.
So I started tearing some papers to go on this one. I've also got some more paper out here that I could do another card with. So we'll see how far I get. You know, hour and a half. I don't know how far I will get, but I wanna glue some more onto this one. Your Posca reactivates with alcohol ink on my gel prints. Never had that happen.
I think alcohol, anything alcohol, will dissolve paint. You can clean up even latex paint with alcohol.
Yeah, I mean, I clean my glass plate with alcohol.
So I think that that's not surprising.
But I was doing, okay, let's get some of these inks on here. Let me get a piece of scratch paper underneath. I know I'm going to make a mess. But I think since Shel sent me these pretty inks, I want to add some of these.
Happy Thanksmas.
Yes, indeed. So I'm going to start with the darkest, which is this burnt umber. I'm just going to put a little bit of that around. And spritz it with some water. Get it to move out.
Let's see. Get a little bit of blending going here. Do some shadows.
While that's still a little bit wet, I'm going to take some of this handmade embossing powder that I created.
This is the one that you
Put
dyed.
Put the ink into, yeah.
Can dye it.
And dye it, absolutely. Okay, so I'm going to add some of that. See if I can't get that textural stuff going on. And you want to use a tool that's a ways away and get it starting to melt before you come in. And I use the tool that's a softer blow.
This is going to be nuts. Yep.
I can always come back with a hotter heat gun later if I need to. But you don't want to blow it all over the place.
I definitely like the pocket brush better. Why don't they make the pocket brush in other colors? Those big jerks. This one I don't have as much control because it's floppier and bigger.
So now I'm going to add some of the brighter colors on top. A little bit of this burnt sienna. Shel says brighter color.
Yeah, that's brown. Don't be silly. That's brown.
And a little bit of this Naples Yellow Deep.
Now that's a pretty color. Where do you come from? Whack it.
Just getting it to move around. Want this to move into this corner a little bit more. So I'll spritz it again. And come back with a little bit of tissue. Because there's a little more than I want in some areas, but I'm liking how that's coming together.
It's probably getting time for a new Posca pin.
Yeah, I just ordered some.
I buy this white fine tip one in sets of 3 because I use it so much.
I think I need it in sets of 10.
Yeah. And it takes it a while to get here because it comes from,
Yeah.
I don't know if it's Japan or China or what, because I can't read the writing.
Okay. I think that's dry enough to move on.
Come on. You splatter all over that, but you won't come out of the tip. What is the deal? Oh, now you're going to do it.
So now I want, plus we've got the blue and the brown in there, I think I'm going to use this is a Stabilo pencil in a blue color, blue tone.
I have some of those other colors. I hardly ever use them. I don't know why. And that side's looking pretty good. And you can see the difference that shading makes. There's an absolute picture of what the difference is and why you should shade things. You should just do it.
Just do it.
'Cause I said so.
I don't know. I'm not real fan of that, so I think I'll quit. Just wasn't doing for me what I thought it was going to do. And I can change my mind.
Yep, you can always change your mind.
I think I'll go to my Pentel pen.
Ooh, that's what I'm using. I'm messing around with my Pentel pins because they're new and they're on my desk. That's why. I could be doing this with a pencil. I could be doing it with any of the myriad of things that I have. available, but I'm trying out this new sepia brush pen that I just got.
What do I have in my die cuts? Take a look at that.
Probably something fun.
Oh, I have a fairy.
Fairies live in the woodlands. Probably under the mushrooms I have here.
Yeah. Or I could just keep it abstract, and I could go with an abstract shape.
It's your prerogative.
Have several of those. Oh, look, Shel. It's a cactus.
Yay! Cactuses are always good. I'm not sure how it blends with your thing, but
No,
you know, it's still cool.
like that. I think I like the round. Okay, Bea, have a good dinner. Thanks for coming. I've got a bunch of leaves and things too, which would have been good. But I should have had them colored up. See, these would be pretty on here. So any number of ways you can go. I guess I could just emboss those leaves. Yeah, let's do some of those.
Embossing it sounds like a good idea. I like this little fringy edge on this one.
See what I've got down here in the bottom of my barrel. With more maples. Oh, there's a ginkgo.
All right, let's play with some other colors. Let's bring in some other colors. What do we got? We got the red, we got the yellowy colors, we got the blues and the browns. For sure, for sure. Hey, how come you're coming up? Look at that. It's like you're not even glued down. It's just wrong.
So that's a way to bring in some of the brighter colors on the top. As if I went with these leaves here. Actually, I could use some of those bright fall colors that Shel sent to me.
Oh yes, those would be easy to make die cuts colored with.
So let me just get some of those pretty colors. She sent me some reds and oranges too. I really like this deep red.
Peg was saying she didn't have fall colors in inks, and so I got her some. Like you do.
Like you do. Like my friend Shel does.
They are from Jerry's Artorama.
Yeah, that one's carmine. This is a Azo orange. That's interesting. And I want to add some of that wonderful olive green. Let me spritz that. I might end up adding a little bit of the. Add a little bit of that over here. Naples yellow. Okay, so let me spritz those. Get that ink moving. Get my brush moved around.
Oh, that's the one I was going to soak. You know, I wonder if this stuff does come off. It's actually pretty permanent once it's on there. This was supposed to be going this way. I'm really having so much fun with these Stabilo Woodies. It's not like they're new. I've had them for a while. I just didn't get them out and play with them. But I just think they're so fun. And I need fun. I need fun in my life. I wish they came in more colors too, though. Why don't they? Why don't they have all the colors? I always wonder.
Don't know why they don't. These are still very wet. I don't know if I'm going to be able to get them up off of there when they're this wet. Okay, maybe those were not going to come up in the amount of time we have left, so we'll do something else. Go back to plan one here. I will take this piece and get some embossing powder.
I need a saying for this, and I don't know what.
I really like this stuff from, there's a Chunky Rust, there's a Taos Sunset. I really like those from Seth After. I think
His are the best.
I'm going
They're
to use
the best. This soft pastel is really bright, 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 which is kind of nice.
Okay, so grab an ink pad here. We'll just ink that up. Get that covered. And get some powders on there. Oh, that's not the one I was reaching for. I want this one. And some tweezers.
That's pretty fun.
And we'll heat set that.
Okay. Okay, I better stop fussing and start thinking about maybe putting a saying or something on this, or maybe I should just leave it mushrooms. I don't know what I don't know. What do you guys think? Something to say? I don't know. No? I think it's a good, pretty good, maybe there's a little bit more yellow in this than this. But I don't know, maybe I have some, do I have something in stickers? Do I have, what do I have? This seems like the right kind of color. This is the clipping stickers from Tim Holtz Ideology. All different types of stuff in here. I know that this will just peel off of here if I don't put a bunch of glue on it. Little things. Little things by the light of the moon. I saw another one that said magic in truth. That's what I want. Magic. Hey, where did it go? Come on. Magic in truth. Little things by the light of the moon. Magic in truth. If this was not an art journal page, I probably would have left it without words, but since it is an art journal page, I decided to add some stickers. These ones are, these clippings ones are very, I don't know. You can interpret them the way you want to rather than them being a specific saying or something. I like it. And I think we're done. I got done just in time. So you can see all the pan pastel background on there, and then the collage over the top, and some addition of some shading with my new Pentel sepia pen, brush pen, and then some adding of color with my Stabilo Woodies, and some adding of light with the Posca white pen. And that's it. That's it for me.
Very cool. I'm just finishing up the embossing on this piece. Took several layers to get it. It could probably stand one more down in here, but I think this is going to make a nice addition to this.
I guess I also added in some color with these two, the soft pastels. So got pan pastels and soft pastels today. Yep.
I think that'll make a nice piece once I get that finished and attached to that. And then we have our Christmas card, which is right here. So got something done today.
We did get things done today. I'm glad you're here, Sherry. She says she isn't able to come on Thursdays because probably work or something. So
yeah,
since it's a holiday, people who couldn't necessarily always attend arrived today.
So we're glad you joined us, and you guys have a beautiful day. Thank you so much, Natalie.
Yes.
And
have a great Thanksgiving if you're celebrating that today. I got to go check on my turkey.
Yeah, exactly. All right. Don't eat too much pie, and we'll see you again soon.
I'm eating all the pie. All right. See you guys later. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye.
Oh, and don't forget thumbs up.